Fantastic Four last night as well.
It's a snooze fest.
And man, I mean, this movie, it's 40 minutes of build up for the first act, and
For
then
2 minutes of
and
fighting.
then third act, straight into the third act. It's an hour and 30 minutes.
Just like a whole middle.
The whole
where's
second act.
the second act? Like
Yeah.
where is it? It's gone.
And we checked the time, and by the time they actually get their powers, it's maybe 50 minutes in. The villain doesn't come in till 15 minutes before the movie.
And he looks like ass.
And when they get their powers, there's just a year time jump explaining how they've been using their powers. And then, okay, now it's time to build the quantum machine again.
To go back.
And that's the third act, where the villain
And
comes
that's the
in.
end of the movie.
And that's the end. It's like, what? Where's the... this is my second time watching it, and it was just as confusing as the first time. Nothing happens, you know? And it's a shame, because when we looked into it, Josh Trank, he said that there's his version, but again, the studio backed out, and they just decided, they did massive reshoots, which you can tell, because Miles Teller in a lot of the scenes towards the third act, you can see the green screen. You can tell it's just him like, all right, let's get these shots in real quick and go. And it's kind of disappointing, because those first 40 minutes are pretty solid, you know? And the elements of when Miles Teller's character, his powers, his arms are like stretched out, and it kind of has like that horror element to it, how scary that is, and it's like that horror sci-fi. All that was interesting, but then the second half of the movie just completely off the rails. I mean, we saw the trailers, and all the trailer footage that you see is completely different from the final film. So much was cut out, and what we found out was that Josh Trank, the studio, cut back $30 million last minute right before shooting. So a lot of the action scenes had to be cut out, which involved like the Thing jumping in this battlefield, and so from what we read up and what we saw, a lot of it was to the fault of both sides. You know, Josh Trank didn't really react correctly. I mean, from what we heard and what they're saying, he lashed out at the studio completely, where he trashed his rental home that the studio provided for him to go film. It was like $100,000 in damages, and it was. I mean, he almost got in a fight with Miles Teller on set. He blocked himself off on set in a tent. He didn't talk to anybody. My guess is that he was really upset that he can't tell his version of what he wanted to tell, especially that you got approved. It was time to shoot.
Yeah. You can't do that, though.
Yeah, you can't do that. And there was rumors about the script not even being done, because I guess there was a lot of reshoots, rewrites, and but the studio also just kind of like decided, hey, we're cutting this back. We changed our minds, and that never helps a movie, because that movie bombed. That movie bombed, and that never helps a movie. If you decided on a vision and a goal, just go all the way. Because if you try to change what you already established and try to make into something else without preparation, you're just gonna make it bad. You know, Justice League had the same issue with the Zack Snyder cut now coming out. Apparently, Suicide Squad had the same issue where they changed their mind last minute. Suicide Squad ended up being what it was. Fantastic Four. Unlike Scooby-Doo is not really that case. I think it made enough money where they made a sequel, but it's Scooby-Doo. You can get away with that. Yeah. But with these types of stories, you can't. You know. And it's a shame, because the first 40 minutes was pretty solid.
Yeah,
you can see potential there. You know,
we'll never know.
It was like a bold take.
Because I remember the trailer, the color palette.
Yeah, everything was different.
And when I was watching the final battle, it was very dark, and then when I see the trailer, it was bright. It was like there was color, and there was like scenes with the sister holding someone crying.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And then
a lot of footage was just cut out.
The fighting was so bad. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. All the footage in the trailer is just cut out. So there's a whole, like, I'm assuming a whole second half of a movie that's completely different.
There's probably a good version of it.
You can tell from what it looks like to me when we saw it, was the second half, like the second act of the movie. They just condensed it. They cut it all out and just put it into that one scene where the general's recapping to us basically after the year time jump what they've been doing, and you see like they're watching the TV of what they've been doing. And I feel like those were the actual scenes that were supposed to be in the movie, and they just cut it to that. And then we just jumped into the third act. Like, the villain comes in 15 minutes before the movie ends.
And he's such a bad villain.
Because there's no...
He doesn't do anything. He's like, oh, I just want to go back to my planet.
Yeah. And he kills...
The dad.
The dad and...
The guy, whatever.
Very random.
He's like, I just want to go back to my planet. Leave me alone.
And then he kills the dad, and then they're like, oh, no, you didn't. And then that was it. They start fighting. They kill him.
They literally fight for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
Such a weird movie. But let's see what the MCU, what they do over there now with...
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, supposedly Emily Blunt, John Krasinski. John Krasinski matches as Reed. I can see that.
I just love Emily Blunt. So.
Anything she's in, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see. That would be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, that movie was very strange. I just wanted to like talk about it because it makes perfect sense with these when the studios try to change something last minute and all that. But you can see the potential, you know.
Good
and
cast.
Josh Trank, the fact that he tweeted right when the movie came out, my version is out there, but you'll never see it. I was like, man, that sucks. And that just, I'm sure, bombed the movie even more.
He probably has it, like, it's done, it's there. You can't see it.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe not fully done, but...
Well, they probably edited it. And probably, like a
VFX.
Like a Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, VFX and stuff like
Release
that.
the Trank cut.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. MCU has it. Let's see what they do. Hopefully, they